It's so crazy.
I just want to be here. I can't so much.
Yeah, they're.
Want me to this one? Yeah, it's good. Right back.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
You're very. Yeah. I got a thousand things for you guys to sign.
Oh.
1,000.
I got.
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a file.
Great. I'd like to call the workshop to order, March 10th, 2026. And would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Malloy,
Here.
Mr. Hernandez.
Here.
Mr. Bernard.
Here.
Okay, item 1 is to dispense with reading the minutes of both the workshop and the regular meeting, March 3rd and March 4th, except and approve the video recordings, this official meeting minutes. Item 2 is to approve the bills. Item 3 is to transfer monies. Christine, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. There's 2 journals on here, one that was completed by the auditor's office and one that was completed by the sanitary engineer. It's all for the same thing. It has to do with our debt that we're paying. Actually, the money went out this morning to pay our debt, and we'll be getting the proceeds from the new note tomorrow. So we had agreed, a month ago that we were going to pay down some of these notes with what was left in the project fund. So those are the first 4 under auditor. So the first one is the elevator. You're paying that down. What was from the project? The second one was the engineering roof. The third one is the stone building project, and the 4th one is the engineering office building. Then the sanitary engineer ones are what they're paying down on 2 of their projects, plus they're also transferring interest. Any questions?
Okay, item 4 is to adopt a resolution to proclaim the week of March 15th to the 21st. It's National Agriculture Week in Trumbull County, in conjunction with National Agriculture Week. And this was requested by Mandy Orahood from the Farm Bureau, who said she will be here tomorrow. She may have other people with her. So that's out there on the table for 3 of you to sign. Okay. Items 5 through 12 are the highway department. I saw Gary walk in. Oh, there he is.
Thanks. Yeah, Gary Schaefer, the engineer's office. Number 5 is a request to advertise for bids. The North River Road resurfacing project that will resurface North River Road from Elm Road all the way to State Route 46. It's 80% of federal funding through Eastgate's STVG program. We're going to bid that out, award it, and then that's going to be completed next year. Number 6 is for the purchase of 3 Freightliner tandem axle cab and chassis. That's through state purchasing. That's going to be purchased out from FIDA. They're out of Youngstown. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are standard permits. Special there. And then number 11 is to close South Main Avenue Bridge. There is south of downtown. Spans the Mahoning River. We're going to be closing that beginning March 27th until further notice. The project doesn't, it's not going to be completed until next year, but we're looking to open that bridge up later this year, throughout the fall and winter months, and then close it again next year. Continue working on that. That's the rehab of that historic bridge. Then number 12 is just other standard permits, steel cords.
I have not on the agenda, but as far as those signals that somebody's recommending that they do away with traffic signals. I spoke briefly with the county engineer, David, last week about it. The one that at Launchmont and the bypass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whoever did the study, did they take into consideration that Amazon's going in there and that's going to have a lot of truck traffic there?
Yeah, when they got into the study, they did the traffic counts. I got the projected traffic counts from Amazon, gave that to them. And they were still well below the threshold for a warrant at those locations.
So, okay. What's it, how much of an increase of a traffic increase are we gonna have there? Do you remember?
No, the peak wasn't much, just because they said they're gonna spread that out over 24 hours. And they do that anywhere they come in. So, they might have 400 or 500 workers, but they're not all coming and leaving at the same time. So they do a good job of distributing the traffic. It was somewhat of an increase over a 24-hour period, but it wasn't much of a loading on those signals. It was still, like I said, well below the threshold for the warrant on the signals. So we won't put those in flashing for a year, and observe the traffic. Put the stop signs up, it'll act like a stop at the ramps and then through traffic on Larchmont. Signals will be flashing yellow for Larchmont, red for the ramps, and we'll observe it for a year. And then we can always just put them
So the
back.
signals won't come down. To
We're not, no, and then the full project, because it's 12 signalized intersections overall, we're part of the study and part of the project. It won't go to construction probably till April, May, June next year.
Okay.
So I got a long time to observe these ones that we're removing now. When I say remove again, put them on flash for a year, I could leave them flashing for 2 years.
Gary, I have a question about that too, Mr. Chairman. I've gotten a lot of calls since I'm at Hunter Township about Brookfield.
Yeah,
What's all the chatter about that on Warren Center Road?
or the chatter, yeah, I probably have over 24 comments on that one, and
Yeah,
it's 10-1. I'll get 10 against removing that signal at Brookfield, Yankee Run, and Warren Sharon, to everybody that says that's good, remove it.
oh, okay.
So we're in the public involvement phase, so we're taking public comment.
Right, I see.
And we invite for, against, neutral, whatever your comments are. I'm taking all the comments in now. I believe the public comment period ends April 1st. We'll sit down with the consultant and go through all those and see what options may be. But again, that wasn't even close to being a warranted signal. They actually recommended stop sign at Brookfield Avenue and Yankee Run. And then there'd be through traffic on Warren Sharon, with that hill there, skewed intersection. I said, I feel a lot more comfortable safety wise with four-way stop. So that's why that was recommended as part of that study moving forward. Again, we're going to take all the comments. And the project initially was, I applied for the funding 3-4 years ago through Eastgate. It was for congestion mitigation, air quality. It had nothing to do with safety. But when you go and analyze these intersections, obviously safety is taken into account when you do the analysis. There were 0 crashes over a 3-year period. So obviously there are no accidents now, and that's something that we don't want to introduce accidents moving forward at that intersection or any of the others. We were looking just to upgrade these signals to LED back plates, put radar in, just make these intersections more efficient, more cost effective to maintain. But when you do that, you have to study that intersection. You got to do the warrant analysis. And that's why 6 of these intersections were noted to remove the signals.
I think it's a great idea that you have public comment too.
Yeah, no,
You're not
absolutely.
just putting this on them and saying, here you are.
Yeah.
Good.
So will those signals stay up for a year also?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that they'll stay up and you do the study also?
So let's just go with Brookfield Avenue, that one there at Warren Sharon. If we do remove that, it's going to be in 2027. It's going to be June, July 27. And at that point, the signals will remain in place for a minimum 1-year period moving forward from there. Just if anything comes about, we can always put the signals back in use. So very methodical process. Nothing's going to happen overnight.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Well, because, we saw with Brookfield Township, where the trustees can, they come out against taking it down.
Yeah, whole Facebook is grabbing a lot of the comments right now.
Yeah,
And I know that's fine. We want the comments, but
right.
they all seem to be the same comment over and over and over. And safety is an issue. I'm very aware, I'm very familiar with that location.
Yeah.
I'm doing analysis and we'll sit down with Brookfield at some point too and let them know what the final results are of the comments and what we're going to move forward with in the design too.
Thank you.
Okay, you are. Thank you.
Items 13 through 18. Plan commission.
Nick Coggins, Trumbull County Planning Commission. Items 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all relating to the same project. This is Potter Circle within the Kleins Farm plat in Liberty Township. Recently, the developer has completed the rest of Potter Circle. And per our subdivision regulations, for all infrastructure improvements, they are either required to have a maintenance bond, or for uncompleted improvements, they're required to have a performance bond. So item 13 is to accept the irrevocable letter of credit in lieu of a maintenance bond for Potter Circle. This is a 2-year maintenance bond in the amount of $67,000 in case anything happens to the roadway that has been completed in that area over the next 2 years. Item number 14 is a performance bond, the amount of 200% of the estimated construction cost. Because that portion of Potter Circle has not been finished, the performance bond is much higher. So should they not complete the job, we pull the performance job and our performance bond is completed. We fully expect them to. It's just you want to do one section at a time for cost effective purposes. Item number 15 is the irrevocable letter of credit in lieu of a maintenance bond for the sewer that was installed. Yeah, sanitary sewer improvements installed around Potter Circle, completing that entire loop. And item number 16 is an irrevocable letter of credit in lieu of a maintenance bond for the water line improvements that were put in at Potter Circle. So all 4 of those are attached to the same housing development located in Kleins Farm. Item number 17. I have Andrew Spekovich here with me. Would you care to speak to 17 and 18,
Yeah,
please?
so 17 pertains to the PY 25 Community Development Block Grant Community Development Program. The environmental reviews for these projects have been completed. They now need to be published on the website for state and public comment. 7 days and 15 days. Once that's completed, the state should issue an authorization to use grant funds, at which point we can move forward with the project. Excuse me, one of them, the Girard Water Facilities project that involved replacing the outdated fire hydrants. We determined that one to be categorically excluded, subject to subsequently exempt. So assuming that we get that submitted, once everything is signed, we might get funds for that project a little bit sooner than the others. That is what 17 pertains to. If anybody has any questions, happy to answer them. Moving on to 18. This pertains to one of the properties that was involved in a 2020 FEMA audit, 4024 Meadowbrook. In this case, the corrective action plan that was developed was that the structure and all the utilities be demolished and removed. The land will be returned to its native condition. And then ultimately, the 3 parcels involved will be separated out to the interested property owners, which we'll be working with the Trumbull County Land Bank to do. Before we could do that, we do need to award the contract to the successful bidder, in this case, Gibbs Construction Incorporated, to carry that out on behalf of the county. Any questions?
Going back to 17,
Yeah.
what's the cost on replacing those hydrants for Girard?
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's $153,900, I believe, is what it breaks out to.
How many hydrants?
20.
I have no idea.
I think it's upwards of 20. Yeah, not all of them were failing, most of which were determined to be in complete non-working order. Some weren't necessarily failing, but on the verge of posing a threat to public safety. Either way.
Does that help with their insurance or anything?
It's a good question. I would assume that it would. Mr. Hickey might be able to answer that better than myself. But.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So how do they go about helping with them on the insurance? Do they contact someone or?
Well, normally what would happen, the fire department or, in a township, but really the city manager, whoever would make that notification for them.
And as far as those individuals are concerned, we did include in the environmental review, letters of support from the mayor, from the fire department, from the respective agencies that would be involved in that type of process. Okay. Were there any questions about item number 18 for the corrective action plan at Meadowbrook? Demolition project?
Okay, item number 19 is to receive and place on file the Trumbull County Transit January 2026 operating report. So right here.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mike Selma from County Transit Administrator. Could go through this report. I'm assuming done through it. Just at the very beginning, in January, we did 3,480 trips this year. And last year, we did 3,560 trips. Difference of about 120 trips. The reason I'm bringing all this up too is part of that reduction of the trips is there were over 387 cancels and 78 no-shows. Now, a cancel is anything that's over 2 hours. A no-show is anything that's less than 2 hours. So you figure between those two, there's over 450 trips that were not taken. And again, a lot of that had to do with, we know how bad the weather was in January. We closed for 1 day, the county closed for 1 day. And I do know they were running, the vendors were running, but a lot of it was just dialysis. So a lot of things were canceled. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. You have any questions regarding? Okay, I'm just going to drop down to the next area. In regards to the ODOT release of 2027 5310 awards, Trumbull County received $250,000 for 2027. In 2026, we received $436,162. The main reason for this, and I don't know if you have it or not, but I sent, that the main reason is there were five nonprofits, including cities, that all purchased buses. And the buses came up to over 317,000 for total amount. So that's why we were short of that amount. The other thing I would like to bring up, and I don't know if this is a conflict of interest, but the company that you're working with in regards to writing grants also wrote at least one of the grants, was Gerard, which I know because they even called me and they talked to me about it. So I don't know if that'd be a conflict of interest down the road for them to write a grant for us as well as them. That's basically my read.
Mike,
You're talking about Kale?
Yeah.
Well, some Bill Dance, prosecutor's office. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I always encourage anybody with conflict or ethical issues to get an opinion from the Ethics Commission. It's free. It covers you from any potential issue. And I don't know, frankly, how those rules apply to outside agents, outside companies. That's something that we don't represent them, so we don't get involved in. But I assume they're taking whatever precautions they need to take to be sure on that.
I don't know. I'm just, they are writing
Yeah.
for vehicles for the cities as well as if they were right here. So, and it's a possibility. Just
Mike, I have a question about the 5310. So we were emailed, the commissioners were emailed about the grant moving forward with your retirement. So the 5310 expires, I believe, in June. Is this what she said?
okay. Can we talk about that later or not? You want to talk about that? That's fine.
Well, no, I don't want to, we don't want to lose it. So I don't know what
No,
direction
that's
we're
fine.
going. You know what I mean?
I've got the letter right here. So the 5310 doesn't end in June. What it is, the 5310 funds are from July 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
So right now, we are in 2026 year because
We reapply in July.
so right now we are in fiscal year because their year starts July 1st, 2025 for 2026. So we've already received that 400,000.
Right.
The 250,000, what I applied for that we just will receive, we will get that money as of July 1st of 2026.
Okay,
So that's when we
Okay,
would get
so-
that money.
so we're okay through.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Well, my question would be, Mike, that's like $186,000 reduction. So how's that gonna cut the program?
That Diane's sitting back there, Diane's shaking her head. That's gonna be a question for Diane at some point.
so then are these, Mr. Chairman, I have a question. So are these grants hurting our opportunity for this 5310 grant? These additional grants that these other communities are garnering?
Diane Jakovic, Senior Levy Administrator. I assist the transit budgeting using each grant period. This grant that we just were awarded for the 250,000 will start to be used in January 2027. We have the promised match dollars of the amounts from senior levy, from transit, and from the Board of DD. That local match money should meet the budget for 2027. Because we have never used the full amounts in each of the years of that local match.
So is that gonna cut other programs from the senior levy?
No, we have it budgeted for the 750,000 in case of need for the transit. That particular year, we will probably need that 750. 2028.
So
But the other part of it, though, I don't know, with ODOT, Mike would know better than I, because he's the transit administrator, the oversight that's needed. There are checks and balances that Mike is required to do outside of just spending the money. He's got to assure the insurances, the Title VI plan, all the policies that go along with it, and to oversee the contracts to make sure that they're following the rules. He is transit. I'm just the funder. I've been told that repeatedly, so I'm just stepping back now.
But my question, do we always have those five, did they always have those grants, Gerard?
They have the opportunity to request for buses. In that 5310 plan, the buses come first. What's left over
Okay.
comes to us. We're lucky in the past years that other nonprofits have not requested buses.
So,
So that's the
Competitive
reason.
grant. It's not a guarantee.
Commissioner,
Mhm.
it's Mike Salomon. To answer your question, so the way this grant works is this grant is for any nonprofit or governmental agency in Mahoney and Trumbull County.
Okay,
So for example, these groups all either got replacement vehicles or new vehicles. Replacement, that means they're replacing new vehicles. So anyways. So for example, Goodwill, not on here, but they could request a vehicle at some
Right.
point. There's another one that does the AI. The one that's in with I think knew the name, but I can't think of it.
Antonine Sisters,
Antonine
Easy
Sisters,
Seals, Goodwill,
They're
Peter Gerard.
right. So I mean, there's a couple of them out there that they do it. The other thing with these vehicles, they're basically 5-year vehicles. So every 5 years they can replace. So depending on when they did them, would depend on the TCAP used to give vehicles to them also. So does that, but yeah, I mean, so any nonprofit can actually.
I understand.
Request.
I understand. I didn't know if it was just for our use, but the 5310 can be dispersed throughout.
Yeah, so it's
Like you just
dispersed to
explained earlier.
Mahoney and Trumbull for anything for senior. In fact, Gary's here. Gary could even apply for doing sidewalks or something. I know you've done that. In the
Don't
past.
apply here.
Yeah, Liberty Township's moving forward with the 5310. I believe that money was from 2018.
Oh,
Typically, we're not going to compete for
yeah.
those funds. We have other sources of funds.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's an open market thing.
I understand.
Okay. Thank you.
I know, one is Received and placed on file the January 2026 monthly financial report for Trumbull County Tourism. Didn't see that one here. So I'll move on to the next item. Receive and place on file monthly activity reports for Trumbull County Dog Kennel. This is for the last 2 weeks of December 2025. Michelle Goss provided the first 2 weeks already. And then the months of January and February 2026.
Gary Newbrow, sanitary engineer, commissioners items 22 and 23 are to create funds for, receiving, promissory notes for these two projects. We have Williams Drive. We have already done a request for qualifications for engineers. Environmental design group was determined to be the most, qualified for it. We had a meeting with them, outlined the scope of their work. They're supposed to get a draft engineering agreement to me, but we'll need these note funds in the project fund in order to, cover their contracts. And the same thing with Caleb Road. This will be Ferguson Nightbolt, since they are the overall project engineer for the entire Meadowbrook area. And this is basically going to be the third phase of the Meadowbrook project. And we need to have funds in place to cover, the engineering contract. Item 24, it's time to renominate projects to the water supply revolving loan account, with the Ohio EPA. And the three being nominated this year, the first one is the Wilson Avenue improvement project. You remember that little project back there tucked in behind Elm Road and Overland Avenue. Might be 4 or 5 connections on it, but there's a sort of an island out there that has public water service, and everybody around it does. So petition came in, and we are designing that in-house. And hopefully, during this program here at WSRLA, this project will come to fruition, and we'll need these funds to pay for it. Item 25, this is still wagon. This is going to be nomination this year that I'm trying to secure principal forgiveness for the debt portion of that project. So it's still wagon is a very important one. And hopefully we'll be successful on that. And the last one is the GMG Hall, that booster station we're putting out there in front of the Warren water treatment plants. We need to get the funding in place for that also. That's item 26. And I will have these nominations hopefully next week for Commissioner Bernard to sign.
Questions?
And like I mentioned before, Commissioners, I got a lot of signatures here for you after the meeting. Okay. And we also have a public hearing tomorrow night for blueprint.
27, this was submitted by Sam Laura. Sam Peck. Sorry. To adopt a resolution that application be made as provided in ORC sections listed to transfer the sum of $350,575 from Trumbull County Children's Service Board, Fund 012, to Child Assault Prosecution Unit with the Trumbull County Prosecutor's Office. You know, Bill, if you want to speak to that about?
Sure, I can do a brief one. Bill Danso, Prosecutor's Office. This is the longstanding relationship that the Prosecutor's Office has had with our Children's Services Board, where they contribute part of their levy funding to the Prosecutor's Office to fund a dedicated child assault prosecution unit that meets regularly, has events, and, you know, kind of works hand in hand with them for prosecution of child assault cases. It's like I said, it's been a long-standing relationship, and they've been one of the first in the state of Ohio, from what I recall. But we appreciate their help, their funding, and their cooperation with those prosecutions, because those can be as you guys probably know, some of the more difficult ones when you're dealing with children victims. So this just helps us out with offsetting some of the budget requirements for our office, and it helps them out have really dedicated personnel and direct access to our office to work through those things.
Thank you, Bill.
Item 28 is to amend the Commissioners' regular meeting agenda dated July 17th, 2024. Item 14, that read to concur with the Senior Services Advisory Council and Diane Siswick, Jacoda, Senior Levy Administrator's recommendations for distribution of senior levy dollars to agencies for the term of September 1st, 2024, to August 31st, 2026, unless otherwise noted. Diane? No.
Diane Jacobic, Senior Levy Administrator. This is just to do the contract terms so that they could better utilize the contract. It was split between designated dollars for adult daycare versus transportation. This combines the total so that they can bill us for either or as they see fit, using the separate rates though that were originally contracted.
Mr. Prosecutor, you okay? Get this in.
I'm not sure that we would. I think this is a pretty routine item that senior levy puts through.
We don't like to leave money on the table.
Understand it?
Item 29 is a new application for liquor permit. Class D 1, 2, and 3. Surat and Lucky LLC, Indian Punjabi Restaurant in Hubbard Township.
Hey, if anybody wants any Indian food,
Yeah.
you ever have any?
Yes, very
You
hot.
like? Oh,
Very hot.
okay.
Chicken dinner. Okay, 30. To approve the proposed lease between Board of Trumbull County Commissioners and Vertical Bridge CCFM LLC. Shara, you want to take this?
Yeah, Commissioners, this is just routine. We've actually had a lease with them. They built the tower on our property and they leased the property for, I do believe it's iHeartRadio. This has been ongoing since 1982, and the prosecutor's office did not want to do another amendment to their, well, whatever lease it was, because I'm sure we've had a couple. So they wanted a new lease, and they put in some terms that, like, now it's for 5 years in 4-year increments. So we're now getting $16,800 per year for leasing the property, and they are fully insured and list us as additional insured for the property.
They have $350 for consumption of electricity. Are they meeting that to make our?
Yes. Yeah,
So
we're okay
with
there.
that?
Sure are.
Any other questions? Okay, item 31 is to approve the purchase of 3 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD 4-wheel drive pickup trucks from Ken Gamley Chevrolet with the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Price to replace 3 broken disabled plow trucks assigned to the Trumbull County Maintenance Department. 2 trucks shall be purchased outright at $51,406.63 each, and 1 truck shall be purchased with a trade-in of 1 2022 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 for a net cost of $5,406.63 for a total purchase amount of $128,219.89. Daryl, you want to add anything to that?
Daryl Dunnigan, Trumbull County Facilities Commissioners. I know originally I had looked at purchasing 2 vehicles. In talking with the dealer, we were able to work out at roughly $18,000 savings if we went with a third. And also we would be able to trade in one of our lesser used vehicles, 4-cylinder truck that really can't do what we needed to do for winter or for hauling or anything like that. So we originally talked about 2, but I'm presenting 3. So
Sherry Taylor, Commissioner's Office, I think you should do that. You should take that. It's a good deal to unload one truck that is nearly, yeah, for what the department's needs are. We should do that for sure.
Well, we definitely need them. I have no issue with it.
Well, we even looked at maybe buying a tractor or something like that, but I'm not sure we can get a tractor for 18,000. So, if we're getting a vehicle that we can use, 12 months out of the year, so. And I know those trucks are beat up and
The only thing I would caution with this is these are 3 brand new trucks in maintenance department that are going to be plowing, salting, things thrown in the back. They're going to get beat up. And the way some of our equipment has been taken care of in the past, previous to you, I would caution that they'll have some strict maintenance logs and policy and procedures with the use of these vehicles, because these should be something that to invest this kind of money in a brand new truck. I mean, I wish we found some 2024s or 2023s with low mileage that we could beat up, because we know these are going to get beat up. If you look at the fleet we have out there now, there's a reason they don't run anymore, and some of them aren't really that old. I mean, even the one we're trading in, it's beat to hell when it's only a few years old.
Actually, Commissioner, the one we're trading in only has 7,000 miles on it. It's a 1500. It has no hauling capacity. It's a 4-cylinder turbo engine in a full-size 1500 truck with 4 doors. It's just doesn't suit the purpose for what we do. I agree. We do need to have some stricter policies on maintenance and taking care of the vehicles. And moving forward, and those things are in place now with the vehicles we have, but even more so with the purchase of anything new.
the
One thing
other
I
2
can-
vehicles, what's the mileage on the other 2? They're beat up bad, aren't they?
I can't even begin to tell you what the mileage of those. I think those originally came through in 97 or 98. I mean, one of them had a board with a Chevy bed on it. It's so.
I know, I see them out here.
We always
And I
have-
agree with Commissioner Malloy that, what, we just need to start taking better care of our equipment.
Agreed.
And set up some type of inspection or that, and have a log sheet, who's driving that vehicle. Then if something happens, we'll know what day it happened and who was driving.
And the other thing I would caution too is we do have some facilities under roof that for the plows, things like that, they should be kept indoors if we can. At the maintenance department or at the engineer's office or somewhere where that stuff's not left sitting out there exposed to the elements year round like they have been. We have Panther, and I know they work on cars inside of there, but we need to find a place to protect and preserve these things, because we go through way too many things that aren't handled and treated with care.
In a lot of areas.
A lot of areas, of course, but this
In vehicles.
Okay, item 32, to complete, submit paperwork to the Ohio Department of Taxation for the approval of transfer of funds for security services, special tax levy fund to the county general fund, or ORC listed. The approval of transfer of funds is needed from the Ohio Department of Taxation to pay for the security services provided by the Trumbull County Sheriff's Office to Trumbull County Children's Services. Children's Services will be responsible to compensate the county sheriff as invoiced on a monthly basis with total amount not to exceed $117,127. Trumbull County Sheriff's Office will furnish 1 deputy to Children's Services to provide police and security services/duties. And this is for months beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I don't believe anyone is here from the sheriff's.
I can explain that one a little bit. Bill Danzo, Prosecutor's Office. This is the method by which the Children's Services Board can have an official or a deputy from the sheriff's office perform security and other services out there. The statute that allows the sheriff to contract for outside services really applies mostly to townships, cities, school districts, things like that. It doesn't really talk about how the sheriff can provide those services to other county agencies. So this is the way that Children's Services is able to pay those services to offset the general fund costs to get that service out there themselves. So essentially, this application just allows this application will go to the tax commissioner to allow us to transfer funds from Children's Services Board out to, back to the general fund to offset the cost of that particular deputy out there. Very similar to what Job and Family has done the last few years for the same reason is, the statute doesn't contemplate that either. So we had to kind of come up with a little different mechanism to do it. This is how it can work by just kind of doing that funds transfer for the reimbursement rather than a contract.
Then once the funds go to the general fund, do we take that out of the general fund and give it back to the sheriff so he's not short in that fund?
In theory, that's the way it works.
I know how they're thinking.
Is that in theory, this is supposed to be treated like the school contracts, like the township contracts, where that money goes to fund although those go into a different fund, or should be going into a different fund. But with this, it is supposed to pay for that deputy. So the sheriff's budget allocation is supposed to be partly taken care of by that payment made through this funds transfer. I don't know, you guys on the financial end have a better idea, like Sharon, maybe. I don't know. Once it leaves the legal realm into the financial, I have no idea.
Well, I think we need to look at that because I know what's happened. The sheriff's gonna come up and say, that's my money that I got. I didn't get it in my.
Here, the problem, Sheriff Taylor Commissioner's Office, the problem is we're giving them general fund money. To pay the general fund back it just goes back in, it just gets spread around because we are already taking general fund money. So it is technically paying for that deputy for the entire year.
Well, I see both sides of that coin.
So I guess if we broke it down that way, and we reimburse them for everything they did, and then they got general fund money, that would be way out of whack with how we budget.
It would be,
Well,
absolutely.
And I guess that makes, the way you say it makes sense. I mean, in that respect, as long as you guys are giving the sheriff the budget in order to hire this deputy to serve children's
Yeah, we are.
services, then it's essentially the commissioner is getting reimbursed for already allocating that money to the sheriff.
The auditor's gonna come and say, well, I made this much money for you. That should go back into mine before the general other departments. We can't open that door.
I don't totally agree with that, but we'll see. But I just know how they're working or how they're thinking maybe, but we'll see what comes of it. Be prepared, that's all I'm saying.
We'll deal with it.
Hey, that's all the items. It's just because that after.
That's next week.
No, well, that's.
We had it set for 12:30, then. The Michigan. Limited witness. Wanted to be at the end of this. There was gonna be.
When I scheduled with them and told you to put it on, it
Yeah.
was for the workshop.
Set for 12:30 then or what?
That was set for the workshop when I did it.
Well, nobody's here, but.
Nobody told me.
Well,
Dawn and I never heard back from anybody, so.
Well, I initially said send it for the workshop, which the commissioner can do.
Denny's Diner's open for business.
I mean, we can call them, sure.
Yes, John.
They can
Have Dawn call them and ask them if they want to come now.
Sure.
John Hickey, Trumbull County EMA. Again,
What about the court?
lots of confusion. So would it be all right if I kind of told my part where I'm at, and then they can kind of fill you in?
We could do that or see if they're coming right over maybe.
Okay. The only thing I have to be back at 12:30 for my mitigation meeting, so I can hang until. But just to give you an update, we are ready to go to bid. So I'm gonna need help at this point, because I've never done a bid through the county. So they have all the documents ready, everything's ready to go out bid, so.
So what's your call, you know?
I have no idea yet until we get them back. Now, the one, the one question maybe share, how long for the county does it have to be advertised?
Like the amount of days,
Yeah.
I'd have to, I think it varies, but I have to see, I mean, I think we have to advertise. Like now we're putting it on the website, so we're not like putting it in the newspaper, so that's very helpful.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 2 weeks, maybe a little bit better than 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So
Was it 17? It's, I know.
Yeah, no, that's okay. What I'm having Baker Bednar do is we are opening the period
Okay,
and then like 10 days into that period, if not a little sooner, they are offering a walkthrough over at the building. That way, any interested contractors
right, they can have,
can
yeah,
come over,
and look,
do a walk. Baker Bednar will be there. I'll be there to
okay,
answer, whatever question.
Right.
We keep.
I'll have to look up the exact details, so, we comply with what we're supposed to, but yeah.
But John, to keep this from being a kind of a design bid thing, you'll have a list of the exact things that you want done.
Yeah, it's already
Spelled
done.
out already.
Carpet, lighting, ceiling tile.
So are you gonna bid some of those things out separately, or are you gonna try?
No,
to do one?
that's all you can't, it has to be within. The only things that will be bid separate will be, the fence. For the back,
Perimeter.
yeah, we'll do that separate. Actually, we probably won't even have to bid that part. That part it'll come in way under, but I'll get 3 quotes.
Gotcha.
And we're working right now with IT on the key fob. They're including it, but we're running into a lot of questions from Baker Bednar on what exactly to put in, how they're gonna run the wiring. And the only other thing that will be a separate bid, will be moving the technology from my building over to the new building and having that installed. Because everything will,
Is IT able to do that or no?
no,
Okay,
no, we'll have to
Gotcha.
farm that out.
okay,
Yeah,
I just wondered. I was
everything within the bid, everything will be spec'd out for the boxes,
Mhm.
all that. So it really won't be that hard,
Okay,
but it's a matter of bringing everything. And finally, the week of the 23rd is when we're going, I've gotten the hazmat team, the drone team, all of them, we're coming in that week and doing all the demo. That was part of helping save a little bit of money on the cost of the project. And it will allow when the contractors come in, they like the training room, it'll be gutted so they can really see what they're getting into.
that's a good idea.
All right.
Well, my only comment is that needs to be done before we could proceed with the corner anyway. So, are you asking that we advertise for bids for that?
For my part, I will be, maybe next week, we'll see if we can get it together and get it on the agenda.
Yeah, 'cause we can't get to step 2 unless we get to step 1,
Right.
step 1.
Right. Now, the one thing I will tell you, if they want to start on the garage part by the end of March, I can have all my stuff out of that garage. And that garage would be totally that. But that's up to Dr. D'Amico, what he wants.
My question is, we're gonna find one contractor who's gonna be able to handle the roof and the carpet. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's asking a lot of some of these potential bidders, of restricting them of not being able to.
Unless he subs it out.
That's what'll happen.
Right.
Right, but I mean, but we have to have one person do that. We can't do the interiors, a separate thing.
Well, I think
Or
We're
we
gonna
can
consider
do-
construction one and then interior something different.
So 15 minutes, they'll be here.
Okay.
All of
There we
them,
go.
just give them time to get here.
Can I get signatures?
Yeah, let's finish this first.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because that just doesn't make sense. We're gonna have, you know, we've subbed out carpet before, we've done floors before, we've done. Julie's had a leak fixed and then floor, two different contracts.
Well, that
We're
was
planning-
my John Hickey, Trumbull County EMA. When I first came to you, that was my plan. I wanted it, but prosecutor advised you can't do it that way. So that came directly from them. That's why
But I think we need to look into that a little deeper because it would seem to me
it makes.
that's gonna inflate costs tremendously when you got a roof guy trying to get a subcontract on a carpet and on an alarm system. That just doesn't make sense. Now we're looking at
It won't, it
one general
will
contractor.
be Sage for us for the alarm system,
Yeah.
for the security. It's all Sage everywhere. So it
There
will
it
be.
goes. No, we need you back in the hot seat. Question we have is, he's thinking or saying we need one bid for the whole thing. And I'm looking at, we got carpeting, we got alarm system, we got key fobs. How can one contractor do a roof and do the carpeting at the same time? Why can't we bid out the construction work? And then the flooring something differently, or besides the interior. And then the alarm system or whatever, something different at a later time. How are you gonna find one contractor, one roofing company that's gonna be able to handle carpet? And do it correctly without just throwing a wild ass guess at us at what they're gonna sub it out for.
Well, that's, I mean, Bill Dan's in his office, that's really, I mean, it really is a question of how you guys want to do it. You know, there's times we've used general contractors in the past that have done just that, you know, where the general contractor will come in and they either have their own people or they sub out to people and they'll do the roof, they'll do the electrical, they'll do the HVAC, you know, depending on how you want to do it. But there also is no problem if you wanted to do each project, you know, kind of independently and, you know, seek roofing bids, seek flooring bids, seek, you know, alarm bids or quotes. The only thing that I would caution you, and you guys know this, but, you know, the competitive bidding threshold, this year, I don't have the number memorized yet, is 79. Yeah, somewhere around there. You cannot split the contracts to be under the competitive bidding threshold to avoid competitive bidding. That's the big rule with that. So, you know, if you have a contract that as a general contract would be $150,000, you can't do three $50,000 contracts and not bid. So you really would have to go through the procurement probably for each thing, or at least the large items to make sure that you're not splitting those bids to be under the bidding threshold.
I mean, we're not going over 70,000 carpeting.
Well, and I think that was the issue when me, you and Mike met. Mike, John Hickey, Trumbull County EMA. When we met back whenever, I think that was a concern. Because that was kind of my idea that, hey, let me get people to do.
Sure.
And the concern was competitive bidding. that-
Yeah.
Because a contractor would come in and say, you know, hold on, you know.
Yeah, and that is the risk with anytime you're gonna divide stuff up like that. So what you have to look at, and it's really a factual question, case by case. you really have to look at then, is each thing actually truly separate, or is this really one project that we're dividing out? And, when we're talking about a renovation of, carpet, electrical, lighting, a lot of those, I mean, that is something traditionally that I think a lot of times would come in the form of a, kind of a general contract for a renovation rather than a piece by piece, unless we're acting as our own general contractor essentially, but
I thought that's what he was wanting to do.
again, even that, what we're gonna have to probably, what we have to really talk about is,
General.
would that mean that we're gonna do 6 separate competitive bids rather than one general
Yeah,
contractor bid?
Commissioner, I think in this case, and I don't know if you would agree, I think just a general contract, you're gonna get yourself into a roof, carpeting, lighting, like building a home. That's why you have a general. Let them bid it out and handle the whole project.
And I hate to put him on the spot, but I don't know if maybe Daryl has any input from a facilities point of view on what he thinks would be I don't know if the scope is too big for one general, maybe you choose to split off like the alarm, if that's more of a specialized, I don't know.
Daryl Dunnigan, facilities. So the alarm, yes, our protocol in the county, it's all one system, kind of proprietary, if you will. So that would probably go, like Sheriff said, go to Sage. But I think you can do it in 2 separate things, like the major structure and then a finishing. You can have carpeting, paint, the ceiling tile, those are kind of finishing things. So I personally think you should be able to break those out so you can avoid that general contractor, hiring a bunch of people and not sure who's going to be in there. But your main structure items, your electric, your roof, and those windows or whatever else is going on in there should probably be under one. That avoids the breaking it up cost wise for the threshold, like you said.
My guess is that would be the higher dollar portion there too.
Yes.
Yeah. Daryl, I think you need to be made aware of these meetings so you can be a part of them. John, would you include them in those meetings and come back to us with a recommendation? How you think it ought to go?
7-week off.
So now we wait.
Commissioner, I have one other thing, and you and I discussed it. We had an email from concerned residents concerning the dumping out there in Warren Township. So just to bring, I don't know, Commissioner Malloy, I don't know if you saw my email. I spoke with Frank Miglozzi. He actually called me on Saturday concerning it. All that dumping out there, my understanding is the EPA has checked it. It's non-toxic. But the residents there and the trustee was concerned that, that might incorporate some toxic inhabitants. That's one thing. The second thing that I was told, as far as the wetland issues are concerned, the EPA, and we discussed that at planning today. Nick, the EPA, and who else was looking at that, Army?
So, Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay, Army Corps was looking into the wetland issues. The other thing that's interesting is that my understanding is that it's going to be hauled to Kimberly-Clark. So whatever they're dumping there ultimately is going to end back up to Kimberly-Clark. I don't know if that's because of the process where Kimberly wants to make sure that it was clean, but then again, the residents there are complaining that they don't know what this is comprised of. So just to make the residents more at ease, the EPA said that no toxins are incorporated in that soil. So we'll find out about the wetland issues, I'm sure, as they explore what's going on there. So the only reason I bring it up because we had that email, and the trustee was concerned about it, and so that's what that's all about.
But
I
the
feel like
EPA is on top of it And
Is it contagious?
we notify the planning commission for what it's worth. They're watching it also.
Yeah,
Is that just a rumor that the soil is going to be used for Kimberly Clark, or do we know that to be a fact?
Nick Coggins, Trumbull County Planning Commission. I do not know that for a fact. That is a rumor that's been circulating. We are going to, now that we've heard that, we are going to reach out to Kimberly Clark and verify whether they're actually going to receive that. But as of now, that is speculative hearsay. We don't know that they have any anticipation of using it. But it is good to know that the EPA has checked and there are no toxins found in the certified clean soil. That I think bodes well for whatever it's worth.
So where actually is the dirt coming from?
I believe it's coming from the Foxconn property, or the formerly Foxconn property that is now
South Bank?
yes,
So it's coming from the old General Motors.
yes. Mhm. But I believe it's all from virgin land on places that General Motors has not previously operated. Just part of the actual.
Well, when you reach out and you get an answer, please let us know.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Chair Taylor, Commissioner's Office. I just got a side note. I just want to thank the Planning Commission for putting these nice books together for us. These are fantastic. They are. We have access to everybody. So, hey, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I can't take credit for that, but I pass along to people that do the real work.
Julie.
Yeah,
I,
Danette.
Danette, she makes sure.
I just got a couple of things. I did not make last, I'm sorry, Mike Selman, Trumbull County Transit Administrator. I did not make last week's meeting, but I understand Dan Keating was here at last week's meeting and he passed something out to you. Is there any way I can get a copy of whatever he passed out to you?
I don't have it. He didn't provide one.
Yeah, I have it in my office.
Maybe if you can give it to,
Get it to you.
and that way I can at least look at it and see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is, we've already said my last day will probably be Friday, May 1st. So my question to this group right now is, what's going to happen on May 4th in regards to just my day-to-day things that I'm doing, answering the phones, I'm not going to go through everything, but just my day-to-day stuff. I mean, I took Friday off. I had 40 emails in my system. So it's like, if somebody's not there to at least get to my emails, answer my phones, do this stuff's going to pile up. You know, to be honest with you, it's going to come back to you, to the commissioners, with questions of problems. So, you know, May 4th, you know, I just, you know, if you could have something in place for me by May 4th, I could train somebody, or however you want to do it, that's up to you. That's all I'm asking. And then the other thing is, you've seen the letter. I'm assuming all three of you have seen the letter from ODOT in regards to having somebody as the go-to person. So that's the other thing too. You know, once I leave on May 4th or whatever, May 1st, they're going to want somebody that they're going to be contacting if they have any questions. You know, and the other thing to say is the present contracts that we have will run out February 28th of 2027. So we definitely, commissioners definitely need somebody from when I leave, at least until that date. And after that, you decide on what you want to do. But at least from there to there.
Like, what does anybody know? We got an employee over there, but Don Hyde, what is he doing for his part-time? He's in the office with you, right?
He's in the office with me, but Don Hyde is one of Diane's employees. I know he goes out and visits people and things of this nature, but you would have to talk to Diane to get more specifics of what he actually does.
That might be, he's there, I think, part-time, but someone at least answer phones, check emails.
I mean,
That dial-up service, where would that go? Where that $1,000 a year, whatever that is. where would those be for the two?
On my phone.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a
We
thing.
didn't, this year. We didn't.
Oh, I
agree
thought
to
it was
that.
on our agenda that we did.
On the Neil right thing?
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, that was actually in the. My
It was on
mother's-
our agenda like 4 different.
Right, no, it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's done.
It was there.
It was, there. You're right, but,
You're not imagining.
And what?
You're not imagining. It
Yeah.
was there.
it was,
But he took care of it.
but no, I took
He
care
did
of
get us out.
it.
Oh, nice job.
We're done with it. It's-
Okay.
They needed like that.
So the bottom line is, if we don't agree to where we're going or what we're gonna do, we at least need someone there to answer the phone.
And to do the daily work and also like what ODOT said is to be that contact person. If there's a problem, I need something. So for example, one report I know that's gonna, okay, I'm doing a DBE report. It's twice a year. I'll have it done before I leave because it's due April 30th. The next one's due September or October. So I mean, that's just one report that has to be done to keep in compliance with those funds that we have.
Like our.
Now, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Because this didn't come up. And we know about RTA, we know
Right,
about
yeah,
the board, we know about all that. So if we have a franchise business, do they handle all that?
I'm
If a
not,
franchise comes in?
I know. There's.
I'm just asking a question. 'cause
I have no
know you-
idea.
Huh?
I have no idea.
Because my understanding is that the franchise would handle all that, but we would need a go-to. We would need an employer go-to oversee that service or, but we wouldn't need a board.
Senior levy would still oversee the senior, right? That's correct.
Well, what Diane does is she oversees the financial. Yes, so you're actually right. As of right now, there's nobody to oversee the DD part, which is my part. And then Richard of the DD board oversees this. part.
But
So-
But Michael, if we don't have you as the transportation administrator, if we had a licensed franchise operation, would they not oversee those items?
They could.
They could.
Okay. I don't know that much about franchise. I do know it came into law several years ago, and I know who the person that got it. So I heard all about it back then. I don't know. But in regards, if anybody is doing the transportation, be it franchise or whatever, as long as you have 5310 money from the state or from feds, you still need somebody to oversee.
Right.
Your contract.
I understand. But I think too,
And seniors are still gonna call or say, hey, what's this RAC program? How do I get involved in it? Someone's gonna answer those questions.
Right.
All the way until next May, March, whatever.
Whatever.
runs out.
Yeah.
Someone's still gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, the contract, as of February 28th, there is a 1-year extension. Not saying you have to do the 1-year extension, it's just that there is a 1-year extension. If you're not comfortable with whatever you decided.
Like you need to put on paper for us some bullet points that we need to make sure that we're watching out for and the dates and issues.
Okay, I need to put on paper right now.
Certain bullet points.
Oh, yeah, I'll be glad to do that. I've sent things to,
I mean,
that
that we make sure that we're aware of.
Yeah.
This needs to be done, that needs to be
No,
done.
I'll have that.
And along with that, is someone to answer the phone as of this, you know what? We need all that list.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I've kind of done that with Alex, but I can get with her again.
You know, just a simple bullet. Boom.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's like, yeah, no, I'll get you
And
something.
we as a district, you know, we need to move forward with
Yeah.
what we're
and
doing.
the
Exact dates. Contact with their member, you know, that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Alex has, but I'm glad to give it.
And Mike, you need to stay on top of it. Keep us on.
Okay, no, I'll keep it.
You need to, here's my own. You know what? We need to act sooner than later.
So, okay, I know you've got another thing. You've got-
Commissioner, before we move on, I got a call. Also, from Bonnie Birdman from the Youngstown Area Jewish Federation. They provide most of the meals in the county that we used to provide. We used to have our own agency that did that. We disbanded that agency a couple years ago. And the Jewish Federation picked up the slack to do most of the meals to seniors throughout the county. They want to renovate their kitchen and increase their workforce. So they put it for a government grant earmark, and they're requesting that we sign a letter, just letter recommendation that they continue on with the program and get the funding. We've done this for someone else recently. A couple of weeks ago, I remember not the same thing, but earmark type of thing for one of the municipalities. And she provided a letter that we have here in front of us. I want to see if we can agree to just sign the letter of recommendation.
Do you want me to place this on
Who
the
would you
agenda?
apply for the grant through?
It's just through the congressmen and senators, same as we do.
So they would be competing with us?
Yeah, but we just did that on a couple other ones that we signed on
Yeah,
to also.
no, I don't have a problem. I'm just asking the question.
In essence, yeah, we're all competing for the same money, but we could all get grants also. I want to sign. My vote is yeah, I definitely want to sign to support them.
Yeah, because you never know which project they're gonna like.
That's right. And they're all different fields. And if ours don't qualify, and theirs do, I'd rather someone in our region get the money rather than someone outside of our county.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Can you write it up, Lisa, and then we'll sign it?
You don't want this on the agenda then, just,
No, we didn't do enough. Put on the agenda.
Okay.
We're great now. We've got the letter, just put it on letterhead, and then we'll sign it.
okay.
Okay, I think someone's here from the architect.
Commissioner.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you guys take a 2 minute break? 2 minute break. Let me get this done.
Okay.
All right, thank you. There this goes to you.
Thank you, sir.
Stand up, I need you there. I need you here. Commissioner Bernard here.
You have a blue pen?
It's blue.
Yes.
Do you flip that's not blue?
No, it's blue.
It's definitely blue.
Just one on this one.
Gary has every color.
All right, now I need all three of you on next one.
So make sense. I was there that day. From out. Well, we have a lot of people. We do. Absolutely. Reason. However.
Yes.
Oh, I can shed a lot of light. A lot of people don't want me to shed it. Yeah. That's commonplace in us.
Thank you.
That all good?
That's it.
Did you get everything?
Yeah, I'm gonna copy some stuff, put on your desk.
Okay. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, now we can move on.
You too, Sean.
Time no see, Doctor.
My hands are a little cleaner now.
Smell like fish.
Okay, just state your name and who you're with and we'll go from there for the record.
Dave Snyder, Baker Bennett Snyder and Associates.
Larry D'Amico Coroner's Office.
I have EMS as well that I brought from the
I
service.
think we'll start with EMS because he may have to.
That's right. I think it's my, let's take a quick meeting for what I have just brought basically where we stand in drawings. I don't really need to go through them other than here's what they are, and I'm gonna give you some dates. Basically, we are wrapped up with the architectural portion of it, waiting on our mechanical engineers to provide their stuff. The idea is that we will advertise for bid on March 16th. So, all right, so yeah, March 16th. We've got a pre-bid set up for April 2nd, and all our bids will be due on April 20th. So everything's moving along. And these are only the main ones. You can see what we've done. I think we provided you a rough order of magnitude estimate back a while ago. 358,000. As far as we are concerned, we're still on track. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know. I just brought set that we had.
So you're saying that your estimate is like 358,000?
Yes.
And we said 300, then we upped it to 4, so, and knowing John, he usually comes in under.
The only, again, the only parts that are not part of what they're doing will be moving the IT stuff, the fence in the back. And I believe, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, the parking lot was or was not.
I think we do that as alternate.
I can't remember.
Honestly, Josh and Andy have been handling.
Yeah,
Yeah, add alternate one.
okay,
So we have it as an alternate. You'll get that as
separate fronts.
So you're saying those dates again are?
The dates are March 16th, we will advertise. Pre-bid on April 2nd. And the bids will be due on April 20th.
Can we make that pre-bid mandatory?
Yes.
April 20th.
Yes.
I got one other question. And I don't know if you can answer this or not, but once the bids are accepted, how long do you think it would take to complete the project? Just give me a rough estimate. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Yeah, unfortunately, I am not as familiar with what's going on. I'm gonna think this is gonna turn pretty quick.
September.
No,
I'll be in there by
September, October.
September.
John, you'll be out of there.
That's the
Out of
answer.
the garage.
That's the answer I'm looking for.
I can be out of the garage by the end of this month.
So if he can be out of the garage by the end of this month, does that mean we can start on his portion of the garage sooner, so he can start getting in also at the same time?
I think so.
I mean, this isn't like we gotta wait for one before we start the other. This could be two parallel things, as long as he gets the stuff out of.
Yeah, the only thing I have in the garage is the hazmat equipment, meaning, oil dry boots, that type of stuff, and command posts. So all that can get moved. So,
Well, never mind.
well, I have one thing. Oh, so they're saying March 16th. That's going. So does that involve us or how?
Well, I think they place together all the specifications, they get everything ready.
Okay,
And we put it on our website.
all right, but the commissioners I don't have to draw up a resolution.
If he's
or-
gonna-
We still need to do a resolution to advertise for bids.
Wait, but that should be tomorrow then, if he wants to put it out on the 16th, we
We
don't have a
can-
meeting until the 18th.
That's true, we can get it done. Can we add it?
Sure.
Thanks. Done.
I like that. I like that answer.
You work together.
Well, they like you.
Yeah, yeah.
We do like John a lot.
Mr. Snyder, we had talked before you got here about with the bid, about putting it out to bid. Utilizing a general contractor for everything, or breaking it up into like the construction part, roof, carpentry, and then like the carpeting, things like that being separate, interior design, cabinets. Do you have any input on that? I mean, is a general contractor able to handle all that at the same price and do carpets and flooring and, the same guy does the roof? I mean, if he's gonna bid it out for the other stuff, are they that specialized or should we break it into two?
I would give it all to a general. I mean, as soon as you start breaking it out, you're gonna lose the continuity of one person. I mean, then you're gonna have, when something isn't right, it's who do you call, where you generally got one person you're going to. And these guys are used to this. This is a small project. They'll be able to handle it. I mean, if there's a portion of it, you say, we have a casework guy, let's pull that out, then pull it out. But for the most part, I would give it to one guy and let him do it.
About the alarm, pull this
Yeah,
stuff.
and we've already done that actually with, help me out, the
With-
fob.
With Sage, we
With
have to use
Sage,
Sage. We don't have.
I actually, in the spec, it basically is them. Because I told Ed, we have to go with them because it's a county system.
And we can do it a couple of ways. I mean, we can put an allowance in so that it's carried all under that same thing. And then you hire the person and they have that money is there. If you don't use it all, it goes back. So, I mean, that's the easiest way, the cleanest way. If we pull it completely out of contract and just say, contractor not responsible for it, then you've got to make sure you coordinate with it. When do we come in? When do we run
And
wires?
that's what we're running into with Sage, with
Yeah.
the door.
I put it under allowance, put it under the general, and he knows he's got to go to Sage and deal with Sage and coordinate.
Yeah.
So that takes burden off you.
And carpeting and flooring is the same way.
Yeah. He'll bring in fact, what most generals will do is they'll put it out to 2 or 3 different carpet guys, get the best price. I mean, they're trying to get their price low, so they want them to be the lowest. We'll bring in those guys and get it all done.
And we have, I sent the spec sheet of what we want to Ed right from Santoli, and so I went only because they did the carpet at the current office, so he knows, down to the number what I need.
I mean, carpet isn't, if you want to pull carpet out, that one's not going to hurt because you just hire a carpet guy. If it has to do with coordinating, like security or anything like that, I would definitely keep it under the general.
I agree 100%. That's what I thought originally. I mean, you hire one person, they handle it. You're not going from here to here. You're not worried about it. They quote that out. It's like when you build a house, similar thing.
Is there anything we could do in the bid process? Because I know we're gonna get a phone call as they do in other counties. For preference or anything for local contractor.
We can call out for the general to try to use as much local as possible.
I'd like to demand that if we can in any way, shape, or form, because we did have some complaints. Although Kimberly Clark is a big, big project, the complaints we've gotten back were them bringing a general contractor from Toledo, bringing in work from Cleveland and stuff, and we have our own labor right here locally that we should have been using a little bit more of. And that I've got calls on that. I'm sure we all have. But if there's a way with this being such a small project, and even on the 4-H building, we got some heat there for not using so much local in the 4-H building at the fair.
The problem is your public bid, which you open it up to everybody in the world. And, if you were just having 3 local generals bid this or something like that, then they're going to use local people. But when you put it out public bid and anybody with a computer can find it, you might get a guy from Cleveland or Pittsburgh come in and say, I'm going to bid this and I'm going to use my guys back there. That's the hard part. But we can specify and try to do as much as we can. I mean, quite honestly, the state does it. If you have a state grant, they make you use, state people, you use the federal grant, you're using US Steel and so it's not that uncommon. We can do it, whether or not we can enforce it or tell them no on somebody. That might be a little more difficult.
I think Thanks, John.
All right, thanks.
Next in his coroner's office. I was, you guys all got some more of these. The top sheet I put on there doesn't really show much, but I wanted to emphasize how little we are going in and demoing out of this place. That's existing space right now. The left side you can see is where currently the temporary autopsy area is set up. And then on the right was John's area, the EMS office. If you look, you can see the few dotted spaces that are kind of connecting the spaces in the front window and the door over to the sheriff's office. That's the extent of what we're demoing. Everything else is really staying as is. So the intent is not to go in place and start it over, working with what we've got. Mortuary coolers, I dropped them in there only because they sit in there now. And when it comes down to phasing how we're going to make this work so that they can continue to function is a little bit of a challenge. So I've left those in there. But bottom line is right now we're taking out those overhead doors in the front. We're punching an opening to go from the EMS office over to that to the garage area and putting windows. So jump into the plans. The amount of work that we do in the current EMS, and I'm just going to talk to the whole project, and then we can kind of work back into. I have a cost sheet which I'll hand out after we kind of go through it. Bottom line is we are connecting that hallway, which is why we had to open that up across there. So now basically somebody that come in can put that door out and there's that here. So public come in, they have a window there that the controlled access at the front door employs anybody on it, and basically all the now the extent of the work in here, besides creating this corridor, was we're taking an existing room that was right here, putting a wall down the center of it just to divide it into two offices. And then the one other thing that we're adding is we're enclosing a conference room where that large table sits in the middle of the room. They need privacy, so we just enclosed it. The remainder of the space basically stays as is. Moving over to this side, the whole project really comes down to the autopsy. What we've got to do by code to build this room to make this meet code for them to actually be doing what they're doing out here that they technically shouldn't be, is to create this autopsy room. I'll equate it to a minor surgery type room. It's not that bad, but it basically is. I mean, they don't know what they'll get into until they cut a body open, basically. We need to have proper air changes. We need to have pressures and everything that goes with it, and then the equipment in here. So that is the key to that. All we're doing over here is enclosing what is equipment that's already in here, plus giving them a place to store some of the equipment that they have. The coolers have shifted over, and the reason for that is we're having the front axis where the overhead door was over here. We're tearing it out, putting a man door in. We're putting in a smaller overhead that funeral homes, whoever that come up, bring a body up there, and come up to that door, open that door, bring it in here. These doors would be controlled access, so anybody in here can't get into the space. They could come in here, put a body in the cooler, document it, and leave. So that's the intent there. There is a doorway that can bring it over here. So if a body's in here and they need to take it out to an outdoor wash area where they can do what they need to do outside as opposed to inside, it's here. We've also created a public viewing area. The idea is that somebody coming up here would walk into this back room. That's as far as they can get. They get in here, they look through a window. A body could be brought up here, brought into the viewing room. Somebody can look at it, see it, and leave. Now they can be brought back in. But the concept is body comes into the cooler, then a body can be brought out of here. There's enough room to maneuver, place to photograph it, do what they need, there's scales, there's the work area to do what they have, place to store all the gurneys, then they go back in the autopsy room, have an autopsy, come back out and go from there. So it's about as simple and straightforward as we can do with the space. It all works. I mean, some of the things we have no choice what we need to do. This is one of them. We do need to kind of trying to control pressures and temperature in here. So we've got to cool all this, which means we're putting ceiling in the majority of the space. But for the most part, that's it.
So we'll drop the ceiling down just to compress the cooling area.
Yes, yes, it'll come down, we've got to have it high enough. The photo area, we got to get above coolers, but he needs to get up on a ladder, take pictures. So we're probably putting this up here at the ceiling somewhere to 10 foot. I'll pass. These are kind of estimated probable costs, and once again, these are us throwing square foot numbers at it. This isn't a contractor takeoff. I kind of went through what I saw in here and basically put all these numbers together all the way down to where you can see a total of 790,000. Now that includes AE fees to draw this all up. That includes special inspection, building permits. I'm trying to basically capture everything here. I do have two alternates because when the funeral homes come up, they're going to back up to that door, but they don't pull into the space. So we were trying to give them a little canopy. Now the alternate one is to build a hard canopy out there. Alternate two is maybe just have an awning put up there, something that just protects the back of their vehicle when they open it up. So bottom line is everything that we're showing in here, we're looking at phasing this, like I said, so that they can maintain it. And the way I see this being phased is when they come in here, we're going to have to build this autopsy room first. The HVAC and the autopsy room have to be built. Unfortunately, that's the majority of the project. I mean, because the HVAC, you can see we're carrying 250,000 in for 275 alone for that. Then the autopsy room, by the time we put all the things that we need into here, we're probably already at 3/4 of the cost of the whole project, which makes it hard to phase in terms of doing some of it now, some of it later. However, we do have to phase it to allow them to be able to function while the construction is being done. The office area, it's minimal, but they can technically move in right away. And then the thought was we do this demo work into here, move the coolers over here, put a temporary wall up here and build what we need back here. Then once that's done, they can move up and do the front work, do one side at a time. So they have a door in there. They can still get back to it. Once it gets done, they flop over and do the other side. So, I mean, that's the scheme to allow them to be able to operate during the construction period.
We have to have a building permit for our own building.
What's that?
Get a building permit for our own building.
You answer that.
Yes, we do.
That ORC.
But you do pay yourself.
We do pay the county.
Gotta be compliant.
Yeah, and typically, it's got to go to a planner board.
Yeah.
And he's going to review everything like this room. And I mean, that's
short 15,000 in his budget, that's all.
Yeah.
And Doc, but while this is all going on, do you feel comfortable that you can perform the way that you do? I mean, there's a lot of construction there. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be done, but
Well, there's two parts of it. Our part is we have to maintain privacy for respect to the bodies. The other part of it is at times people back here working, if we're working up here, are going to smell things that are pretty it's going to smell like, going by roadkill. It's been sitting out there for 3 or 4 days. But I mean, we can maintain our privacy. That's not the problem. And these guys, I've talked to the construction guys a little bit here and there, and they just say, do what we have to do. So,
and you could keep the privacy then.
yeah, I think we can. We have a privacy fence there now that I think we're even renting. We'll just have to keep that till all this is done and then get rid of the fence. So, I mean, it'll be
They'll have to
adjusted.
change their hours of working too. I mean, if you're in there, instead of them working day term, maybe they'll have to work afternoon term or something, right?
And like in the summer, though, we've also adjusted our hours. Like in the summer, we were starting at 4 or 5 in the morning just to beat the heat, and we can do that. If we have to, if there's any big thing, we'll do it.
And that's just affecting you and the medical examiner, that your staff will stay where they are until this is done.
We have that option. We can, I mean, this stuff's almost all done anyway. If we wanted to move it here, we probably could, but I would say just complete this first and we'll just stay where we're at. We are using a lot of man hours now going back and forth and expenses as far as driving for the county, but it's another year of that.
It shouldn't be a year, hopefully.
Well, this started in 2021 and I'm just getting to this in 26.
You have great patience.
I agree. Let's hope it's only a year.
Well, let's hope it's less than that. I mean, I'm thinking September, October.
I would think that the office area, I mean, with East Door, once you get the demo done, and the minor amount of work here isn't gonna take very long at all. I mean, I'm talking weeks. You close it off, you take over that area, you throw up a temporary wall, and you're gonna have to maintain the store, because you gotta get back here. Close this off, they can use this. You're gonna have to shift around a couple times, this is the worst part. But I would think you could pretty easily, keep the construction, this is the worst construction. I mean, you could keep that isolated from what you're doing every day. I think what we'll do is we'll come up with a scheming plan where, you know, each phase that we do, we put up a temporary wall, we do a partition, whatever we need to do so they can function and still, you know, get access one way or another and make it work.
I mean, I've talked to our whole team. We're willing to do what it takes to get this done at this point. So
I'm sure
the night shift we will.
I'm sure.
So from a facility standpoint, the HVAC,
State your name, Darryl.
Daryl Dunnigan, Trumbull County Facility. So for your HVAC, have you spelled out the details on that, like backnet and?
We have not, I mean, we're only at the preliminary. Now, my engineers have gone out and looked at it.
Okay.
And basically, we know what we've got to do for this area is, since we've got exhaust, we've got to add a makeup area. So the idea is we're going to set one on the ground out here, we're going to exhaust out the side. This room is going to be independent. We've got a giant unit hanging up here, which hopefully we can use to kind of feed this, but we still got to get cooling. That unit isn't necessarily one in that cooling too.
Right.
So the idea is we'll have to add cooling out here. This will be a separate unit. This is already completely on its own.
Right.
We don't have to touch it.
Is there any type of air quality purification system or anything like that so that in a bad scenario, the employees working on the other side don't deal with what they had to deal with this year?
There is, but I mean, basically, we're going to suck all that air out of there. That room's going to be a negative.
Yeah, that's in that room. But I mean, when they come in though, there's smells. When they're loaded in and out, there's smells. So we don't want to creep through the whole building. There should be.
We will still, I mean, put it this way, this room is going to be the most negative. These are still going to be negative. So everything that's drawn is going to be pulled out of these spaces this way, not to that way. So we will be drawing out of it. In terms of air purification, I mean, I'm sure there are systems put in, I'm sure they're pricey. I think I would start off with very good exhaust. And I mean, if you keep that totally negative pressure, and we can set it up so it is, I think for the most part, you have to control a lot of it. Is it going to be perfect? No, I'm sure it won't be. I mean,
Yeah, I think once you exhaust it all out there, now it's outside. So you're picturing the other units down at the other end of the building, picking it up and bringing it back in. So I mean, that's probably the only thing. As long as that's all negative, I think you should be okay in that part.
Well, to be honest with you also, all the employees that are going to be here now are going to be people who are here also. So it's not going to be as dramatic as having to sit here.
Where they are in their office now, they're not smelling anything because they're in a separate facility. They've never had bodies in where they work, other than when they went to where they work.
Right.
But the secretary still small bodies today.
Well, no, but we've actually done away with our eliminated that position. So we don't even need a secretary anymore with the software you guys bought us 3 or 4 years ago. So anybody that works in here right now we don't even smell this stuff like we consider them more stuff. I mean, so if that occasionally happens here and there, it's not a problem.
His staff is investigators anyway. So Alex Dean, Jonesy Bush, and Jar. His staff is investigators or forensic pathologists anyway. So his point, we work together to eliminate There is no,
I need to hire one of your staff Thursday night. My dog got hit by a
they're
skunk.
pointing out evidence.
Yeah.
Like, we deal with this every day.
I'm scrubbing. I could have used one of your staff for
Well,
some.
the only, to touch on what Commissioner Malloy said, the only problem is you have the tag unit out there, so.
Yeah, that is so true.
Is it, yeah, is the ventilation gonna be up high enough that it can dissipate hopefully above the
We
building
want
and
it up
not
the
around?
building, I mean, and exhaust it as high as we can. I mean, it's gonna depend on which way the wind's blowing that day, quite honestly.
Well, honestly, right now, I don't know if you guys have heard anything from TAG, but we have no exhaust here now. I haven't heard anything from TAG either, so.
You're right.
And I think, Doctor, when we first looked at it, that was the whole point of putting, to your point, to pull it out that way and out the side. We don't have that now. That addition will be, it will make a large difference.
Well, this is much better than what I saw when we were on Chestnut and much better than I expected even out of this. I think you should be pretty happy with this because you were pretty
This
competitive.
is,
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
this is pretty ideal. The whole area is ideal for us. We're kind of in the middle of everything, but we're kind of in our own little world, so.
Chestnut, we were at 2.2 million. And that's because we had elevator lifts and everything else with that building. This is right out of the gate. If we hit this,
And you
we're
spent 120,000 for design, right?
right
80,
80.
85.
Well, then, but then we're saving 1.2 by doing this.
Well, one of the things we
And
can,
even by moving Hickey, we're still going to be ahead by 600,000 or more.
so how do we feel about alternate 1 versus alternate 2?
You have to make that, I mean, we can wait and see how the bids come in.
Yeah, I would say we put it out on bid as an alternate, and see where they are, see where the whole project, once again, I'm only gonna warn you, this is probable costs that I'm looking up in a means book and saying, you know, should be cost this much per square foot to do this. I'm not an estimator, and, you know, 5 years ago, I would have said I can get it pretty close. Ever since COVID, pricing's all over the chart. And you never know. Now, do I think it'll be close to that? Yeah, I do. But it could be up or down. So I would say keep those as alternates. I mean, if there's anything else we come across, and it might be in the HVAC that we can say, this is an alternate price, we'll do that as an alternate too, and see where everything falls.
I think you're going to be pretty good. I mean, I'm not a carpenter, but even your demo, you had very little demo other than cutting a few doors. You know, for 20 grand, I think we're good.
So when you plan on putting this out to bid?
Well, I mean, if we get to go ahead, I mean, we'll dive into the drawings. I mean, we can have drawings done in 3 or 4 weeks, I would think, and have it out to bid. You know, so we're talking another month for bidding, so 2 months from now. Or for middle of May, I would think that you could start construction June sometime. I mean, that's pretty aggressive, but that's possible.
Well, we need to be aggressive.
Well, we had first bid going out March 16th. We have the next one going out April 16th. You think that's doable?
20th.
I mean, if I go out for bid, and so you are saying 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, if you give me the go ahead right now, I'll put a guy on it right away. And my engineers, I mean, I'll get them. I would say, yeah, that's possible.
Let's shoot for that. March, April, and then hell, we could be looking at 911 by May, maybe.
So I would say.
Think we'll put this out for bid by when?
Well, if we advertise it April 16th, we'll follow, I mean, we'll have to have a bid for 2 weeks, and the third week they can starts our bid period. So we're looking at April 16th, May 16th. I would say we're talking probably realistically the middle of June that bids would be due. Or that we would be starting construction, I should say.
Well, Mr. Coroner, we told you to have patience, and you've had great patience. I
Okay, we're this close to the end. I want to see the drawings and the bid. Then I'll say thanks.
We're closer than you ever
I've
been.
been, you're right. I've been close and then got yanked back, so.
And we're
But that was a
doing it.
good yank back. At $1.2 million yank back, it's pretty good.
Well, the whole problem with the Chestnut building, with the elevators and that, we were talking about all kind of potential issues in the future with maintenance, and being on slab makes all the difference in the world and out of the city. This is ideal for
The only
us.
thing I ask is keep in touch with, because he needs to know what's going on and he can get back to us. Okay, but, yeah,
I got a quick question, not that it means anything or not. That's Warren Township. But is there,
City of Warren.
you sure that's City of Warren? You got Warren Township Fire Department right out front.
Yeah, but the engineer's office is City of Warren.
The engineer's office is, but this is behind it. What's the address of this?
I don't know.
640 North River Road.
I thought all that property was City of Warren.
Oh, no. Well, so
I thought it was annexed in, because I think everybody pays city income tax.
I think there it is also, because it's right behind. That was full, it's supposed to be an entire complex. I really doubt that they would have broken it up between
I think
township.
it goes all the way to,
It does, it goes far back.
what's there, 20-some acres there or whatever, I can't remember. I thought it was all City of Warren.
But I remember a time guys would, there was an issue, guys were hunting there and they said they're allowed because it's Warren, it's township, it's not city.
So what's your question?
Just formality. If it's City of Warren, they're still gonna pay income tax. If it's not City of Warren, their employees get a raise.
Well, I think it's easy to find out whatever the county engineers.
Yeah.
And I think they pay city.
John Hickey would know. He
I
works there now.
I
at
live
that
in,
address.
I live in Howland. I have to pay because I work there. I have to pay city court taxes. So that, I don't think it really matters.
Well, you do. But people that work outside,
Outside the city,
right? Like Board of Health, 911, they
they
don't pay it.
don't pay.
Diana don't pay it.
Right. I think that they'll still have, I think that it's going to be, that whole thing is encompassed.
We could find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
You're right. No, right.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
I think the corner would be glad to pay city income tax.
I've already paid it now.
To
It's great.
So.
get his facility, I'm sure he is.
Well, I think John Hickey, now that you mentioned it, said he is being exempt tax.
I think it's all city. I could, yeah.
I would say the only unknown we have on this plan is this outdoor wash. And the concern there is they ran all the utilities right alongside of the building. Gotta find out where those are. Well, I don't want to move.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big thing. So
Yeah.
somehow we're gonna have to try to make this work. I think it's paved back now. If it's paved, then maybe we can just figure out where it's at and put a fence up and be done.
There's
But
not a spigot out there right now.
There's not a spigot out there, and this was all part of the new paving project when we moved into the building, so we could drop people off at the man door. So that's all just been recently blacktop. But no, there isn't. Plus, we need the privacy fence, so this.
the concern is the floor drain, of getting it drained out there. Because whatever you wash is gotta go back to the sand.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay. All I got on that, I mean, you wanna touch on the,
You better wait for another time of that, I believe. He was asking when the stuff from the dog bite.
One thing at a time.
What we did is rescale, and you're in the process of that. We publicly say that you're
yeah, I've rescaled it down, and I honestly, now that I've rescaled it down, I think I can rescale it a little further. So maybe I'll take a look at that before, so we're ready.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, Mr. Porter, thank you.
Thank you all. Let's keep going. We're going to step through the end.
We're too close to turn back now. Hopefully.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You have enough from us.
See you.
Okay, anything else?
very exciting. Good day.
Well, they waited a long time.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Malloy. Bernard.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes.